the idea is to walk you through the guide that you've bought.
Okay. Yeah.
So you can be, instead of just the interpretation you get from my conversation,
Yeah.
the idea here is you can interrupt me and add to the conversation. You come to a particular corner and I start rattling on about the aspects of it or whatever, something you might
Yeah.
not have realised, or you say, well, what about this, and we can just talk. And
Get that.
that's the whole idea of the track walk. You can imagine it's like a glorified version of me and you plodding our way around Anglesey,
Yeah.
and we're actually talking about it. It's a little bit faster than that because I don't think I could even get around Anglesey in an hour. It's then that you can start to see the actual flat bit, and as
Yeah.
soon as you see that bit, you must be off the brake. Between that point there and that point there, you
Yeah.
can actually brake fairly hard because the
Okay.
bike. Remember, you've gone left, and the bike's coming upright, and it's as it's coming upright you can really kill that bit of speed off. So, which
Yeah.
means in this part of the track, you can actually potentially be going faster because you've got the stopping capability. It's a long radius, so you're going to hang on to the corner for a little while, hang on to the apex. So I'm coming
Yeah.
into the curb now. I'll hold it for a while, and I'm now looking down the circuit for the drift out curb, which on the entrance you can't see. But basically, from the left of Rocket, from this left hand bend here,
Yes.
from this point onwards, essentially to about there, the track is pretty level. It's a plateau, if you will. Running into that corner, you must be off the brakes before you get to the left curb.
Yes. Yeah.
It's so easy to just hang on to thinking, oh, I'll be all right, I'll be all right, I'll be all right. I still tend to favour that deceleration to a very late point and then focus
Okay.
on drive coming out. So
Yeah.
you're trying to pull the bike down. The bike's trying to sit itself up, and sometimes you wonder why you fall off because it's fighting itself, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I tend
Yeah.
to run in with a trail brake, then dump the brakes, and then basically kind of lean the bike into the corner.
When you're at that really slow point that you talked about,
Yeah.
you're in a position to kind of be able to defend your track position. You're going to be close enough. I know you're not at the apex, but you're going to be close enough to the inside curb that anybody's just going to have to wait unless they're going to try and go around the outside of you.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're trying to sort of build pace, but essentially what I'm saying is that the drop down the hill there is remarkably similar. You can sort of go around here with much more confidence because it's blowing you right as opposed to trying to take you left.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
a super important thing is make sure you're comfortable and confident with which way the wind's blowing.
Yes.
So certainly just before you go out in your race, have a little look at the flags and your out lap on the run round, if you get the opportunity, or your warm up lap or whatever, is kind of stay pretty much sat out the bubble so you can kind of feel how the wind's affecting the bike and affecting
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
You should get a feel for it.
Because feels like you kind of place that you can't really gain anything. You've just to try and not lose anything, if that makes sense.
As opposed to try and gain is the secret.
Yeah.
I would suggest stay off the curbs, even though you can run them.
Yeah.
Don't. Because when you go around a left-hander and you drift out, your tyres are very close to the edge of the track. So if you immediately turn right...
I never really got a position where I felt like I was at the right pace coming through there.
Right, let's get round to turn 3, which is, I think it's called Church, up onto the back straight. So essentially, you could, if you did get out to the outside of the track there, and your tipping point, see this road
Yes.
is
Yeah.
not long after that, to be fair. As that passes is where generally when I commit to the corner. So it's quite an early shutdown.
Yeah.
Partly because of the wind, partly because the bike's bloody motoring, having said that. And you'd be starting to potentially run offline thinking, Jesus, I'm running too wide. But let it run wide. So utilise that entrance to that corner can be faster than you imagine because you've got that extra sort of drift out run because of that opening radius. If you sort of run into that corner and then try and accelerate from there, you'll only accelerate for a short amount of time and you're at full lean trying to accelerate.
Yeah.
not a good way of doing
You
it.
lose twice as much in doing that because you can't gain an advantage going. If there was a straight going down there, like a 200-300 yard straight, it would be worthwhile.
And
Yeah.
that's why this corner particularly always feels like you never get it right. Because you try to get the first bit of it right, and you do, and then the exit's too slow.
Yes.
So then you overcompensate, you go in miles too fast, and then you end up practically on the grass. Because you're overcompensating. So it's finding that kind of sweet spot is
Yeah,
so,
it would just be to make you feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
That you were over there in plenty time.
yeah. And a quick example of that as well is going down through Craner Curves at Donington. Because it's usually just as you get to the apex of the corner where the plateau starts is when it all kind of gets a bit snotty. So even if you're going too fast there, get off the brakes.
Yeah.
You can,
Well,
that's what all this tarmac they put here for, is for particularly for the cars.
Yeah.
Of running on the grass there. I'll send you the recording of this anyway, so you'll have
Okay.
You can utilise it along with the guides.
Yeah.
All right, fella.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks very much.
All the best, Keith. Speak to you soon.
Right. Speak to you soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye now.